pod. We'll do all the, the pleasantries and all that. For those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop your comments down below, especially if they're agreeing with our points. That will be greatly appreciated. If not, we'll also debate you in the comments as well. We love that. And for those of you listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the other the audio platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. All of that helps with the algorithms and getting out to more viewers and listeners and expanding the podcast. So yeah, it's greatly appreciated. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's get into the preview then. Upcoming, you've got a really tough game, man. I didn't realize your run of games at the moment is pretty smelly on paper. You're traveling away to Newcastle. I think it's a Saturday 12:30, which, God, the organisers have screwed you, haven't they? How the hell are your fans going to get all the way to Newcastle for a 12:30 kickoff? That's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Bloody hell. And then United have got Chelsea. And I saw some funny stuff about how Chelsea fans were begging Ten Hag to just stay for one more game so they could get the W. And
the voucher.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we've got Chelsea. So let's start with the Arsenal-Newcastle game. St. James's Park. Last year, that was a controversial one, wasn't it? That was Joe Linton's... I think, was it Joe Linton scoring or Gordon or something? And there were very dubious decisions. Yeah. What do you think? How do you think this game's going to go, first of all? And what have you made of Newcastle's start?
Newcastle looking very smelly. I think they really struggle. They're really struggling to score. Unless Isak does something, they really struggle. I think this is for the Arsenal. Also, I think one of the big benefits of St. James's Park is one of the big benefits of Newcastle. That's an amazing stadium, and the atmospheres can get on top of you. 12:30 could be a little bit sleepy, maybe. So I think Arsenal get the dub there, just because Newcastle have not been very good attacking wise, and I think if Arsenal are kind of secure in defence, I think they can manufacture a chance for the rest of the time.
Yeah, what score prediction are you going to go for then?
3-1.
Okay, damn. You're expecting, I wouldn't say a resounding win, but it's quite comfortable win, right? 3-1.
Yeah, no, actually, it wouldn't be comfortable. I expect it to be 1-1 for quite a bit. and then
some late goals. Yeah. I agree with you, man. I think 12:30 is a terrible kickoff time for the exact reasons that you said. Like, it can go one of a couple of ways. Like, you can either, the fan base can be really on it and they, started necking the pints and the pale ales and stuff like that for breakfast, or people can be, still have the crust in their eyes from just waking up a couple of hours earlier and not quite be up for it. So it can really go either of those ways. And I think it's not the greatest fixture to have, I think, because it's kind of one of those ones where you really need to be up for it. So you come in off a big win would give you a bit of a bounce, or if you come in off a defeat, it can kind of give you the fire to overcome what's normally like a pretty difficult match and hostile environment. But I have not been impressed with Newcastle one bit. And I actually think where they sit in the table has flattered them. I think they probably should have dropped more points than they have. I don't know if they've just realised they're playing football and not rugby, but they've completely misunderstood how to play football in terms of scoring goals and like trying to win games. Apart from some Harvey Barnes screamers, which I can remember in a couple of games, I can't remember them doing much attacking wise. And I think they've actually gone a bit stale, bro. I think that's the real thing. And I don't blame Eddie Howe. I just think they've kind of been hamstrung by all the FFP and PSR stuff, so they haven't been able to reinvigorate that squad. And I think they've also probably just made the wrong decisions. It may have actually been worth selling a Bruno G or an Isak or something to get the funds in to reinvigorate that squad. Because I'm sure you would have taken Isak off their hands. I'm sure Man City would have taken Bruno G off their hands when they're looking for a midfielder. Like, I'm sure they would have had offers, and I think keeping those players has ended up kind of making things go a bit stale. So I actually agree. I don't think it will be comfortable, but I think this has got like a tight Arsenal win written all over it. So I'm going to go for Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2. And I think you guys will grab the victory, and I think it'll be deserved, but you probably will make it harder for yourselves than
sure.
necessary, because Newcastle
For
are
sure.
not. I don't believe in them. Let's go on to the United Chelsea game. I think it's a Sunday 2 p.m. if I'm not correct, or maybe the late game. It's looking like this is going to be Amram's first game, if everything goes to plan. Amram versus Maresca. A lot of people believing in Maresca already and hyping him up, and talking about their board manager, etc. I have been impressed, more impressed than I was initially. The stuff I'd seen of him at Leicester, it didn't move me, and I wasn't expecting things to be quite as good for them as they have been. But I think they've finally realised Enzo is absolutely horse, and they've decided they're going to go for Lavia and Caicedo in midfield.
Yeah.
And it's working out very nicely for them, because that's a really good combo. And that's actually, along with Cole Palmer, the big thing that's worrying me in this game is, will our midfield be up for that battle with those two? Because, Lavia is just one of those guys, man. I think he's kind of been missing like Malacia, and people have been like, where is he? Is he alive, or etc. But he's come back, and he's just a really good player, man.
Yeah.
And I think this game is going to be much trickier than it has been in seasons gone by. I've almost felt very comfortable when we've played Chelsea in the last couple of years, almost big bro in them and kind of thinking that they're even rubbisher than us. But I think they may be onto a winning formula with their manager and some of the players they've been playing. So I think it's going to be a really tight one. But I've got to back the new manager bounce. So I'm going to go for United to win, but I'm going to go 3-2 Man U. But I'm not saying it with any kind of chest or bass in my voice. I think it could easily be a high scoring draw or a defeat. But what do you think, first of all, on the game, and what have you made of Chelsea so far? Because you've got them soon as well, haven't you?
You're
going to Stamford Bridge soon.
I think it's going to be a tough one, just because I think I could be very tricky to play Chelsea at this point. They have been doing well. I am a little bit kind of unsure if the way that Maresca wants to play is the same way that the players want to play. He's a proper like Pep disciple, and Cole Palmer's like, allow that, man. Like, I left
street baller.
Yeah, he left. He left because he doesn't want to do that. And I think you can, and I think everything can kind of be fine, and you can get away with it. But eventually, that's going to come to a head when your best player is like basically only works outside of that kind of function. The kind of like the heavy possession football and the quite slow and cautious build up. That's not them. So if Maresca changes his ways, it might be interesting, but I have a feeling that he wouldn't. In terms of the United Chelsea game, that's so tough. Like, my feeling is 2-2. I think there will be a bounce, and to be honest, for United, given where United are and where Chelsea is, 2-2 is a pretty good result, in my opinion. It just kind of stabilized, because United coming off a series of not great results and managing to kind of draw with Chelsea, this kind of high-flying Chelsea at this point of the season, would not be too bad. It's like stabilizing areas. So that would be my prediction. But in general, I'm still kind of I'm not sure about Chelsea, just because I think this is just a little bit too. It doesn't quite fit. It doesn't quite fit. One thing that is good is that Conference League is actually very, very good for them to actually get their players out there playing, get the youngsters some good minutes. So, that's kind of where I'm at. 2-2.
Yeah, I actually think that's probably the smartest bet for this game, because I think you're right. I think maybe the Chelsea fans won't be happy with that result, because they've kind of they've seen Tottenham come to Old Trafford, they've seen Liverpool come to Old Trafford and absolutely blow us away, and they've had a really impressive start too in terms of their league position and performances and results and stuff. So they might be expecting the same. But I think if you were to ask both managers what result they would be comfortable with as a worst case scenario, I think they'd both accept a draw. For Amorim, it doesn't start with a defeat, and for Maresca, it's not going away to another big team and losing after the Liverpool one. So I think they both take it, but I guess we're coming in obviously off 14th place, stinking up stinking up the joint compared to Chelsea. The expectations might be different, I guess, for the fan bases. But I don't know. It's one of those games where even if Chelsea are playing quite well, I think it's one of those games where they think, and they might be right with this, that they have a shot at really putting us to the sword, and is opened them up to counter-attacks where we've previously punished them. Thinking of the last couple of games we've had at Old Trafford, where I think we beat them 2-1 last season, then we beat them 4-1 or 5-1 the season before, and we've absolutely pummeled them a few times playing that exact way. So I think that's still possible, but I think I'm going for 3-2 just because it may go that way, but I just think we're too vulnerable to win like a game convincingly at the moment. And I think if we do win, it's probably by a goal here or there rather than anything more convincing. But all right, cool. So I've gone 3-2, you've gone 2-2. We'll see how those games go in reality. I'm letting Johns know right now, Lincoln's results are counting towards your prediction table,
wow.
mate. But he's already smacking me. So I've got 10 points so far. He's got 22. So yeah, I'm relegation fodder, mate. I'm performing like Man United as well, and he's like Arsenal. So I need you to stink it up for him so that I've got a chance to come back into this. But yeah.